Cheesecake time! Hi guys, welcome back my Easy Dishes. Today, as promised, we're gonna bake the cheesecake, and let's start right away. We start with a base, and this recipe is from my late granny, and I really need to use for that. It's probably also old as my granny was. One of those mixers which I need for the base. So I got lots of questions. Please send me the recipe, and I said okay, please be patient with me and wait for the video, because I will explain everything that you know and they can bake it at home. Sunday, Mother's Day, yay, in quarantine, in lockdown, so maybe if you don't have a possibility to buy any presents, which probably will happen to me, why don't you bake just a nice cake and do something nice for your mom? And a nice fluffy cheesecake would be mwah. So why not? So it will be an old-fashioned cheesecake, but a fluffy one and not hard. So you will be able to eat it even warm. You don't have to soak it for 8 hours in the fridge. You can eat it warm. Believe me, it's gonna be delicious as always. So let's start. We need for the base 200 grams of flour, all-purpose flour, 80 grams of sugar. I use like a brownish sugar, it's the only one I have. 80 grams of unsalted butter, room temperature, and one egg. You can rather use some vanilla sugar. I'm just using some vanilla essence. And 1 tablespoon of baking powder. That's it, actually, yeah. So we're gonna prepare the cake, the base for the cake. And before I gotta do that, I'm just greasing my baking tray. I'm gonna use classic, I'm gonna make a round cake, so I'm gonna use a round one. Okay, yeah. Sure, works quite well. If you don't want to use, or you don't have kind of spray like this, works also nice if you just use a little bit of butter and then some flour on it, and just the excess of flour just throw away. Works perfectly fine. But you need definitely to grease those baking trays. So we start with putting the butter in, and adding the egg. Gonna move the camera just now that you can see what I'm doing. Let me just clean my hands, and I will be back in a bit. Yeah, so if you're alone, you have to adjust the camera all the time. You can see it can happen that some eggshell it's falling in. The best way, what you can do, just take a piece of the other eggshell to take it out. It will stick. It's the best what you can do to take it out. So you can see it's in there before you take your fingers. It's the best way. Just as tip. So, and we add the sugar as well. And then gonna already mix this together. Oh, it's probably gonna be a little bit loud, but it's what's supposed to be happening in the kitchen. So before we're adding the flour, so let's see. So that's actually basically it for now. We have to change those kind of things because if we add now the flour and the baking powder, it's going to be quite sticky and we have to use the hands. So then we need those. Okay, before we start to mix again and putting the flour in, I just want to, what is always better, that it goes more smooth, please mix the baking powder before you add it into the dough with the flour first. You just get a spoon first. So we're using a full like this, so then we can mix it thoroughly with the flour. Otherwise some baking powder sticks here and some there, so here we make sure that it's nice and even before adding it into the dough. Always better. So let's get my dough back, and I'm adding some just a little bit vanilla essence, just some drops. Oops. And when I completely forgot, just a pinch of salt. Just that was a cooking pinch. Just slightly, that it has a nice balance. Okay, let's add the flour and mix again. So that's basically it. So before, what we're doing here is basically creating a cookie dough, which is absolutely what we want to. Because if we're using now the hands, you can see it's gonna get absolutely amazing consistency. Perfect to create a nice base, because it has to be then later hard enough that all the fillings not, you know, not floating out of the cake while baking, but also still like moist enough that the cake is not gonna get too dry and too hard when you bake inside. So that's it for the base, and we're gonna put it already into the baking tray. So I had to divide the dough because we need to put one on the bottom obviously, and also we need to put one over here, like I said, to make sure that the filling later is not floating out. So today I'm gonna take my rings off. So you can rather use a cup, or like I do, use your fingers. Okay. Oops. Yeah, don't make it too thick, please. Round about like I would say like 3 to 5 millimeters thick. That's more than enough because the dough, I mean, we put baking powder in, the dough will still rise a little bit. Not much, but a little bit. So that's why if you make it too thick, all you're gonna have later taste, you don't want to just taste the cookie dough. It's not what we're baking here. So gonna take a while now, but good cake like this, especially cheesecake, takes a while, and you shouldn't rush this. Especially because we still have plenty of cake, plenty of dough left. Let's start also putting it on the sides, and then we see there will be still enough left to put them on the bottom then as well. So 10 minutes later, and it's just a bit boring to watch all the time, so that's why I chose to switch the camera off. And I still have, it's almost done. Almost. It's just a little bit like, you know, the finishing touch, but I still have so much cookie dough left. So there's still, as you can see, you can still make like everything nice. And here it's too high, so we can make it actually absolutely perfectly shaped. And take your time. This is actually the worst and the longest work what you have to do with the cheesecake. Otherwise, everything else, it's quite easy. Because later, we're just making the filling, I'll show you. And then you bake the topping on the top. My special one. And yeah, and then almost ready to eat. So, or you cool it down if you prefer it ice cold or cold out of the fridge, whatever you prefer. There's no, you can do this whatever you like. And this is like this is like I said, it's actually the only thing where you have to pay attention a little bit on it, that it's really nice and smooth everything together to make sure that you have a nice cake base. I like to have it, in general, I don't like so much sugar in my cakes. And so this recipe, I'm gonna say later also something else again to this recipe will be sweet, of course, but not like, you know, that you get a sugar shock when you eat it. So it's going to be, for a cheesecake recipe, it's going to be surprisingly, I wouldn't call it light, because a cheesecake can't be light. Traditional cheesecake. But compared to the others, or the, I would say the normal ones, is it still nice to eat. So welcome back. Everything is washed again because I needed my from the Stone Age, my mixer again. So for the filling, I promised you it's gonna be a light and fluffy cake, and I was talking about I don't like sweet cake. You know, when you go to a restaurant and feel like something, just a nice dessert, and then you just have the first bite and then it goes like, you know, it is so sweet that like your teeth are hurting. I don't like this. I can't eat this. So my cakes and my recipes are just like gently sweet. It's gonna be sweet. There are still a lot of sugar in it, but still not so much. So we had 80 grams of sugar in the base. We're gonna have now 150 grams of sugar in the filling, but that's it. And so traditionally German Käsekuchen cheesecake is made from quark, which is fermented milk, quite hard. It's not a cream cheese kind of a thing or a cottage cheese. It's something totally different. You can't buy this in English-speaking countries for some reason. I don't know. It's yeah, curd or something like this, I think. But so I'm living now 5 years in South Africa, and I'm from Germany originally, and so my late granny out of Germany always made this cheesecake, and I remembered. So I was always trying to find quark here where you make the cheesecake from, but the only thing that I could find which gets the closest one to it, so it's a plain fat double cream yogurt. You can also use a Greek yogurt, works also nice. That gives a nice, absolutely nice flavor, and it has this sourish taste. So together with the sugar, which the sugar amount, which is not so much, it's gonna be just amazing. So let's start. We need, like I said already, 200 grams of sugar. Putting it in a bowl. We're gonna need 4 eggs, but you're gonna have to separate them. 750 grams of this yogurt. You can use also a little bit of lime or lemon zest, which I don't have at the moment. Lockdown, I can't go outside, I have no one to watch the kids are not allowed in the mall, so I just found a little bit of lime juice, and I'm going to use probably everything. Gives a nice flavor as well. So if you use lime, it works really good. Also, it looks nice when the filling has some green sparkles in it. And to give it that it's not like falls together, we're going to use some cornstarch. We're using 60 grams from cornstarch, like here you can get maizena, works nicely. I don't like to use instant pudding powder because it has its own taste. I don't like it. Then the whole cake tastes completely different. You're going to see if you bake it as well. So let's put the camera down that you can see what I'm doing. And we are starting with separating the eggs. I'm using, you can do it per hand. Can't even remember where I bought this. It's like also 10 years ago, something like this, where I'm separating the eggs with. I'm gonna show you how does it works. If you're gonna see it somewhere, it works just amazing, because we need definitely a good egg whites, which is like the base for a good cheesecake to rise. Also, when you're gonna try one day a souffle and you want to have it like this, you need to make sure that the egg whites are perfectly clean of any egg yolks. And this one little gadget makes sure it's gonna stay like this. So I'm gonna show you now how does it works. Okay, let's go down. So you see on this little thing, it's like a little edge that you could crack the egg. So you don't have to use something else. Use actually, yeah, so I hope it works, otherwise it would be quite hilarious. So you just roll it. Take everything once, like you see it comes down. So as you can see, egg yolk actually literally in my hand, and the egg white is perfectly clean. So if you whip this later, it's gonna be like whoop, perfectly. So I can put this away because this is later for the egg whites. So next one, because we need 4 of those. Okay. Little helper wants to say hello.
Hello.
Okay. If you wanna help, which you can do, you have to eat later a slice of cheesecake. You're gonna do that?
Mm-hmm.
You think it's gonna be delicious?
Mm-hmm.
You saw it the other day. It was nice and wiggly, you remember?
Just like this. Wiggle, 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 wiggle.
Okay. Okay. So we have the. Okay. You want to help? Hang on. Oops. You have to watch here that. Yeah, because the oven is on. Hang on. Don't touch the oven, please. We need this temperature here. Okay. Take this and then. Okay. You can.
It looks like ice.
That's not an ice, not ice cream. That is. What's that? It's egg. Which you like for breakfast. So put. What's that?
Actually, it's for tea.
But what is it?
Sugar.
Sugar. Okay. Put all the sugar in there. Okay. Good girl. So now you have to mix it. Can you do that for me?
I can.
Okay.
I'm smelling the sugar. I like sugar.
Oh, I know that you like sugar. Okay. We have to. Can you do that? Here we go. So, no, yeah, not so fast. So, we mix now what? We mix now the eggies with the
Sugar. I want to try on this.
Lick it from here. No, not licking. Just put the finger. This is rare egg, eh? But they're fresh. So.
Yummy.
So, now.
Yummy.
Wait. So, here is the.
Cream.
No, it's yogurt. So, let's get a spoon.
I want to.
Okay,
I want to.
it's heavy. I'm putting it in and then you.
No, I want to.
Yes, you can do it just now. Just hang on a sec. I'm putting it in and then you can just stir it a little bit. Can you do that for me?
A spoon.
Okay.
Silly pancakes.
Lily. So. The video goes hopefully around the world, so please don't show the people your tongue. So here. Stir. Can you do that for me?
Yeah.
Okay, that would be nice. Let me just, because I need to clean this here. We need it for the eggs. Okay, remember guys, I said the egg whites needs to be clean from everything, so you can't use this like it is. You need to clean that too. That's absolutely right. Can you please watch that your hair is not going into the dough? It's fine. You can sit like this. No. Just stir nicely.
Let me go up.
Lily, please. Okay.
Wait, I help you, my mom.
That's so nice of you. Okay, so my camera again doesn't work anymore, so I probably have to switch to something totally different. I'm gonna go back to the basics, to my phone, and okay. So we put the yogurt into the dough and into the filling. I'm sorry. We're gonna add the lime juice, like I promised. I'm gonna put everything in, and the cornstarch. We can put it in like it is, because I'm gonna mix it then definitely with a mixer again a little bit, not on full blast, but still I'm gonna mix it. Yeah, so this is what I'm gonna do now. Quickly, I'm gonna mix it together that it's gonna get a nice consistency, and I'm gonna whisk the egg whites. While I'm doing this, I just want to tell you that I already preheated my oven on 170 degrees, and so that if I put the cake in, it's gonna be already on heat. Okay, let me just whisk this or whip it quickly, and then try it. as you can see, because of the cornstarch, it's got to get already a nice consistency, but it won't be as like glibber when you use, for example, gelatin, which would be too much for my recipe. So I have to clean now those again, or maybe let me try. Awesome. Maybe I have some spare ones. Yeah, I do. One. And two. I do that. I have to clean it in any case. Always baking is like not just flour. So I'm gonna adjust the camera a little bit that you can see. So size. The size of cheesecake. We don't find that the cheesecake is gonna break. What can happen definitely. So we have to gonna whip the egg white, but not completely through, because egg white, what's gonna happen? You create air bubbles. When we make it completely solid, the air bubble is gonna be like this, and it stays like this. There's no more volume to rise. So if you then take the cake then later out, it's gonna just fall off. So we are just making like on medium consistency from the egg whites and later, so it can still rise a little bit more even when you change the temperature. I'm gonna show you. Then we putting it gently under the mixture already, and then we put it under the into the baking tray and to the oven. That's actually basically it. Yeah, as you can see how fluffy this mixture is gonna look like. There is no, you can already see the bubbles in it, and like this, the consistency of the whole cake it should be. And I think it's absolutely amazing. So let me just, I need both hands now, so let me just fix it up and then I put it into the baking tray and I'll show you how this looks like. So remember, we're just gonna fill everything what we did now with the filling. We're just filling it in like it is. Here we go. You can even hear how fluffy it's gonna be. So the danger now is that the cheesecake is gonna like burst a little bit while baking. But I'm gonna show you then one or two tricks how we're gonna do that. But because of the fact you saw some pictures on my trailer, we're gonna put a topping on the top. It actually doesn't really matter if it breaks or not, because the topping, the baiser topping, the tiers, what's gonna get later, you can't see shit. So no matter how this looks like, just give the cake, the recipe, the time in the oven. Don't open the door. Just don't open the door. Treat it like a souffle, as it may be like it is, the filling. I'm going to switch the light on. See, that's basically it. You're filling everything just into the form, and have a try, of course. It's really delicious. Like I promised, it's not too sweet, but remember, we have sugar on the base, sugar into the filling, and on the top it's going to be sugar as well.
The original recipe from my grandma has like, I'm gonna show later how much sugar she would put in. I'm gonna change that and definitely didn't use that much, but it's gonna be just right. So oven, I preheated, like I said, 175 degrees Celsius. So I don't know how does it work in America. You have to just change it to to Fahrenheit. So the cake needs to be baked for like around 60 minutes. Like I said, don't open the door. I showed you just now how this looks like, and we put in the cake onto the bottom, the last tray, please. Do you have a peek how the cake looks like in between? I must say I changed it quickly from the bottom tray till the middle one. I don't even know, yeah, so I just changed it. It's better. But yeah, should we have a peek? I'm quite curious actually how my cake now looks like. Let's have a look. I don't want to open the door, but I think it looks quite nice. Starting nicely, gently to rise. And yeah, it started also to get some brownish caramel color on the sides, and like I said, don't worry how does it looks like, because with the final topping it's gonna be the nice surface. So when we see now 22 minutes left to 50 minutes, so I'm gonna still have to clean up a little bit my kitchen, and then I'm gonna prepare the final topping. So get your eggs ready and your icing sugar, and then you're gonna be back for the final step. And really important that we don't open the door then completely quickly. We're going to use then a wooden spoon, put it in between so that the cake is not like in shock when we open the door, when he comes then from 170 degrees into room temperature. So cheesecake is a kind of a mimosa, so you have to be gentle with it, otherwise it really goes like this. So, but it will be great, I promise. So see you in a bit. Doesn't it look absolutely amazing? I'm quite proud of myself. Look at this. Look at this. Wow. So now gently. So while I'm preparing, see, so now the spoon just sticks and opens the door just slightly. I'm gonna switch this off now, and let's get back to the eggs. So what we're gonna do now, we make the baiser topping. It won't harm the cake now while I have the door a little bit, please don't. While I have the door of the oven a little bit open, it won't harm the cake at all, because so I need now 2 egg whites and 4 Lily. I need please a big spoon. Can you give me one? The one where we eat with. A big spoon. And probably, yes, just put it there, please. And it's this big spoon. And showing the camera how big the spoon is. That's a huge spoon, hey? If we have a huge spoon like this, we probably
have it for knifing the eggs, but this is not a knife, it's a
spoon
for cutting.
Yeah, how do you say this in German?
Actually,
In
it's
Deutsch?
4 eggs, only bad yucky shell, which you crack like this.
That's right. Okay, now we're putting the egg whites into this tray here.
Now I can mix.
No, because I need a mixer then. So, and look, okay, she took one of the biggest spoon out. The amount of icing sugar I'm gonna need then with the maybe like 2.5. Like I said, my granny like used 6. Please, used 6 spoons of icing sugar, which made it quite sweet. I don't like this, and the amount of sugar already in the cake is quite a lot, so I'm gonna use probably 2.5 spoons of this of icing sugar, which should be more than enough.
Okay, now I'm gonna add the icing sugar. 1, 2, and a little bit more. Okay, that should do the trick. Okay, so more or less 2.5 spoons of that. If you have like a normal size of a spoon, use like 3, which is absolutely enough. If you rather like it sweet, you can also use 4 to 6. 6 is the original recipe, but like I said, it's up to you. So let me whisk it complete, and then I can talk to you again, because otherwise you won't hear me. So I think that looks absolutely amazing. See, it's shiny. Then you know it's definitely ready.
Let's get the cake out of the oven. Gently. Oh yeah. Oh my god. It's always the best. So carefully. Ooh. Oh my goodness. Look at this.
So now you have the perfect, like, you know, sitting in the first row for my cheesy cake. So let's just put the egg white baiser on the cheesecake. You can see it goes already down, but I have to put it back into the oven. But don't worry, remember this white topping is gonna also just rise a little bit. Please pay attention. I had it the other time. Don't put it too much onto the edges of the baking tray, because we are not making meringue out of it, so it's gonna be still like a semi-hard consistency. And if this later sticks onto the baking tray, it's just hard to get it off, and then it like it's not it will pull off, and then it doesn't look so nice anymore. So just make it like, leave a little bit of an edge, not completely to the baking tray, otherwise, yeah, no good.
Here we go. So, time is over. No matter how the cake now looks like, I would say we're definitely switching the temperature off. So that's what we're gonna do. And then we open the door, and then see what it looks like. Let's do it. Yeah. You see, yeah, looks good. Okay, we're now leaving the cake, like I said, for like at least half an hour, like this, in the oven with the door open, just to give this little mimosa time to cool off. And then I come back to show you just how it looks like when I take it out. And I like it personally to soak, like I said, into the fridge for like overnight. I like it fresh out of the oven. Always the first bite, and a fresh, just fresh slice, which is still warm. Oh my god, it's the best. And a fresh coffee. I think I kind of earned it. And I just really truly hope on Mother's Day I still have a slice left. So, gonna see you in a bit. So here we go. Finally, I took it now out of the oven. Beautiful. So let's cut the slice. I know you like it. So feels definitely nice. So you promised me you're gonna eat a piece for me? Yeah?
But I don't like the whipped cream.
There is no whipped cream, don't you remember? So wait. If you because of the fact that I used a non-stick spray, or if you use, like I said in the beginning, flour and grease it with butter, it just came off. It just literally just came off. So I didn't have to cut the edges, nothing. It just literally just came off. So if you don't put the top layer into the edges of the baking tray, then you just can take it off. Then you don't have to pull it, so you have a nice surface there. So, and like in the first video, now it's still warm, so it's not too hard. It's like wiggly, nice and soft. And like usual, let me have the first bite. Oh my god, really good. It's nice. It's really nice. It's not, it has this lemon taste, lime taste. It's not too sweet. Really good. Like I said, I have my coffee. I definitely need. And really, really, really nice. I would be really pleased if somebody would make it for me for Mother's Day. So really a good idea. I try to make the video as early as possible tomorrow, that you still have one day that you can surprise your mommies. Really, really, really nice. Okay, one last thing what I completely forgot were the tiers for the cake. The tiers appear because of the icing sugar, and they are just coming naturally when the cake cools down. So before, as I was eating it, the cake was still warm, so they were not there yet. But now, after like an hour, cake is coolish. Now the tiers are there, so I'm going to show you. So this is how the cake is supposed to look like. As you can see, those little drops appear absolutely naturally. Sorry for the dishwasher, but I need to clean my kitchen. But yeah, so this is how the cake is gonna look like. I find it absolutely amazing. And those little tears, sugary taste. is absolutely amazing. So I think my job is done for today. Cheesecake is done. Cheesecake is awesome and, as promised, absolutely delicious. And yeah, have fun trying and have fun baking. It's definitely worth it. Bye. Love you guys.